Yeah, I think anything is possible here going against CC, North Dakota, Western Michigan, whoever we got to play coming next. I think is going to be totally worth it. So again, this team is solid. They have a really good coach. Gabinett's a fantastic coach. I think their entire coaching staff as well. They've also, to me, their defense is probably their weak link within the team, but the defense has gotten better in the second half of the season compared to the first half. I think they're playing together better. Plus, you have guys like Zach Erdahl. You got Mueller on the team. You got guys like Mancini on D, along with Jacob Gavin's out there. We have some solid players. And Lukey, Tanner Lukey is a stud. Yeah. I mean, that kid's a freshman. I just hope we can hold on to him for one more year before he goes pro.
That's it. Well, or portal. You never know.
I don't see him leaving. I think he'll stay for a couple years.
College hockey could be almost more of a trickier one than football. I mean, or at least the same. Like, they got starting quarterbacks from Ohio State that are transferring, but
yeah,
I could see anybody really transferring.
Yeah, that's true. And the
just
game
depends on where they're from. If a kid's from Minnesota or something, and he knows people there that he could get some NIL deals with.
Yeah,
that he might just go back to any school. if the opportunity comes up, you just never know.
True. I really see this team. It's evolved throughout the year. I mean, I think they're playing together better. Their passing is more crisp. They're not making just dumb, wild passes throughout the entire game. They're making smarter decisions as they go up ice, making smarter decisions for the most part on the defensive side of the puck as well. And they're getting great goaltending from Simon Licozzi as well, which is really helpful.
That's the one thing I can say. UNO's they've had pretty good goaltending over the years.
Mm-hmm.
That's really kept them decent, even if their team's having a down year. The goalies have been pretty good for a number of years.
Yeah, absolutely. And we go back to this weekend. Really, I think the games were close, but dominated both games.
Yeah.
I mean, they controlled the puck, controlled the zone, had more shots. They won on faceoffs. They, although they weren't the more physical team, I think they still were right there with hits, time of possession. Like, everything was in their favor. They just needed to score, and it just took them a while to get to the scoring. And once they did, they go up 3-1 on Friday night, and then they give up a power play goal and another goal that was kind of weak. And then you're looking at 3-3. They score under a minute left in the third period to win it, thanks to Zach Erdahl with a hell of a good shot. But again, it probably shouldn't have got to that point. Right. So you go up 2 goals. They didn't go up by 2 goals till the third period. So power play, Dan. Their power play. I was just going to get to that. Their power play has really struggled. I think not just this year. Over probably the last 3, 4, 5 years has been really bad.
It has.
It has been a little bit better second half, but their penalty kill. I need to get more shots on their PK than they do on the power play. They might have more shorties than they do power play goals this year.
That always kind of blows my mind, but it is. It's like, I mean, I played hockey, so when you're on the PK, it's just like so much more attention to detail, I guess. Like, you have to stick in your spots and know what you're doing. On the power play, you do too, but it seems a little bit more like, okay, we can kind of take our time, set it up. You got to be where you are, or you're in trouble. So
on the power play, you get a little bit out of position. It might not hurt you because you have an extra guy on the ice or someone else backfills you. But I feel like when they're on the penalty kill, yes, a lot more attention to detail, and they almost are looking to read the play. What's that next play that offense is going to do? What you need to do. And I feel like that's why they're getting so many turnovers, getting so many shorthanded chances, because they're anticipating, and they're not just sitting back when they anticipate and know it's coming. They're going after the puck and getting the steals and making a rush up ice. And so
I don't know who their special teams coach is, but they must be more defensive-minded.
Very much
offensive.
So. Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess if you have to choose between the two.
Yeah.
I mean, I played defense, so I'd choose defense.
Yeah.
I like to score, too.
But, Matt Miller's had a hell of a year. Really struggled the first half, and he's done much better the second half. He's out there with Erdahl most of the time now, and I think that's really helped him a lot. You got guys like Slipik, obviously Noah Sullivan is out there. Randall's had a great second half, which he really struggled in the first half, too.
A lot of goals.
His second half's been fantastic. And then you also look at Brock Bremer. Brock Bremer and Sullivan, those guys, when they're out there, like they hound you. You don't get to move once you get the puck because they're right on you. And
They're small guys, but they're all over you.
And Sullivan's not one of the best players on the team, but he has the biggest heart. He has the best hustle, and he's going to get in the dirty areas and win the puck.
Win face-offs.
And his face-offs. Him and Ty Mueller are two of the best in the country.
Yeah.
And so they have that going for them too. There's a lot of bright spots on this team, and I hope it carries into next weekend. I think this was, again, you get 11 out of 12 points back-to-back weekends. I think right now we jumped Western Michigan because they just got swept. So I think that gives us an opportunity to jump. We did just jump them in the standings.
Right, but not in the pairwise, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it is what it is. I think
it's a terrible ranking system.
Yeah, it's stupid. Again, we take down CC, who was number 10. We were number 18 or 19 at the time.
Yeah.
And pairwise, we didn't move. We made one spot maybe, and they moved down one.
I mean, after Friday night, it looked like we were 15th, and then we're like 17th. It's like, okay, you can't win.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's going to be winners and losers on both sides, but if you look at records, and I know we're 5th in the conference. Yeah. I get that, but with the record that we have, I said this. I was like, if that's North Dakota, they're in the top 10.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
If that's Minnesota, if it's Boston or BC,
yep,
they're in the top 10.
Yeah, I think that goes, and that's just not Omaha. I think there's a lot of teams that are in a similar situation with their record. It's like, well, what's the difference? You can look at strength of schedule, but again, it's same with football. Like, what is strength of schedule?
Right, when you're in one of your best conferences.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of talk
more
about
than you've lost.
Yeah.
And the teams that you've beaten are ahead of you. It doesn't make sense.
Yep. So, but again, I think hell of a good season. I'm excited for next weekend. I'm going Saturday night.
I just want them to get a chance to. I just want them to get an attorney because I think if they do, they could win a game or two.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
I've said that before, and then they've kind of gotten beat up, but
yeah,
it's veteran group.
What we can't have, I think, is and what's different
from a win or two.
What's different from last year is last year in our last 3 series, I think we won maybe one game in regulation and one game in maybe overtime or shootout, and then we lost. We got swept 2 weekends in a row
before to the finish line.
Yeah, before going into our final homestand with North Dakota when it was the best of 3.
Right, because we got to host,
and we lost 2 out of 3, and so
they won Friday and then lost.
We have more momentum now, and so I hope that helps carry them into this next week against North Dakota. Again, a good team. We've split with them once. I really hope we come back home, get the home crowd. We have one of the top 4 attendance records for college hockey. Yeah. So really hope the crowd shows up.
They'll be green there, but they've been selling out there, so keep them out.
Yeah,
it's going to be impossible, but
absolutely hate North Dakota fans too. They're the most obnoxious people, especially when they come to Omaha.
I was talking to some folks. They came into my work the other day, and they both had UNO. There's a couple. They both had UNO hockey shirts on, and I was like, obviously you guys are big fans, and I was like, so am I, and they were pretty knowledgeable, and they were like, we obviously we're pretty big fans, but if UNO loses, as long as North Dakota doesn't win, I don't care. Yeah. And that's what the lady said. She was like, I have a coworker that's from Grand Forks, and oh my gosh, she just makes my life miserable. And I'm like, dang. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And people give Nebraska fans and people in Omaha a hard time, like, oh, there's nothing else to do. Literally in Grand Forks, there is nothing else to do. Like, that is their pro team, kind of like Husker football when it comes to football. That is their pro sport. And they sell out. They do a lot of giveaways.
Their arena's awesome. It's like Memorial Stadium.
They were doing something last night. It's like, oh, if you do this, you enter to win for an iPad and this. I'm like, holy crap, that's awesome. Like, good for them. Like, I think that's fantastic for the sport. Just when you come to Omaha, don't be dicks like you are every time. Like, you are just obnoxious. Like, just enjoy the game and be friendly. Like, CC last weekend, man, when I went to the game on Saturday, the CC fans, best fans ever. It's funny. I talked to 2 guys that were probably mid-20s, and we're all walking the same direction. And I was like, man, it's good to see Colorado college fans here because you guys haven't been showing up for a while. And they're like, well, we have something to cheer about this year. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you guys have a great goaltender. You guys have really picked it up this year. And one of the guys goes, well, we really came to Omaha, to see a sweep, but now we're just hoping to split. And I'm like, good luck with the split. We're probably gonna sweep you. And he's like, yeah, you're probably right. But I actually talked to the house mom of Emberco when he played for Lincoln Stars.
Oh, that's cool.
She was in linebacker, and so we talked for a little while, and And I'm like, he's a fantastic goaltender. Really is probably the best in the conference. And but it was good to see. You're not going to get that with North Dakota fans.
No.
You won't have that type of chit chat.
We did that last year with Duluth.
Yeah,
I feel like there was guys
absolutely.
that sat behind us.
That was fun.
Yeah.
But I feel like I talked to probably like...
Maybe in front of us, but yeah.
Yeah, once you get to... If you don't know, I like to talk, but like 30 people. Probably about 30 CC fans at the game. I just couldn't shut up. I just kept talking to them. All of them were great people. And I'm like, this is great. I come back anytime. And so... Anyways.
No, that's cool.
But... So let's see how we finish out the season against North Dakota at home next weekend. Get your tickets over at the Ticketmaster to come and see your Mavericks play some hockey. Last home series, whiteout on Saturday if you're going Saturday. I'll be there. We know Dan's going to be there as well. I don't know about Jimmy and Brian.
I don't know yet.
I got ticks, so I'll be there. All right. What should we talk about next? Baseball. Baseball's kind of a short subject. We can talk about that.
Okay.
We don't have much football today. We'll hit on that real quick before we go into basketball, because basketball's kind of in the prime with our last home game today before going to the Big Ten tournament, before going to the NCAA tournament, hopefully. So let's talk about baseball. So baseball, I actually haven't seen much on UNO baseball yet, to be honest, which I'm kind of ashamed of that. I haven't been paying attention, but I know they're playing too. But Nebraska's been down south. They're in I think South Carolina right now.
Sorry, I was just checking it. They got out of the 7th. It's tied 3-3.
They're in the desert. They had to change this series from a 4-game to a 3-game due to some weather on Friday. So they pushed to a 3-game series instead of 4 games. But they won the first 2, so they're in the 3rd game today.
They were down 5-1 on the first game,
and it won 6-5.
And they won 6-5, and then they were down. They were down last night too, or yesterday afternoon. And they came back and won.
You know, there's a couple people I saw really upset, like, "Oh, this is unacceptable." I'm like, it's the very beginning of the year,
and that team was undefeated before. I don't know who they played, but they were undefeated, and I don't know. So far to start the season, they beat Baylor first game.
Yep.
They could have or should have beat Texas Tech, and then they should have beaten Oklahoma.
They should have beat Oklahoma.
They should have beat Oklahoma 100%.
And
Garrett Ingram, his mom is a customer, and I went to their house the day after that game, and she was like, they should have won. She was so mad.
Gosh, that's funny.
So, anyway, that was kind of fun.
But Nebraska's
they're pretty excited about the season.
They got a good team. I think they're gonna be successful this year. Excited to see what happens when they get to Big Ten play. They played well in the Big Ten last year. I think they probably, if you were to ask Coach Bolt, he'd probably say, we didn't perform the way we should have. And I think a lot of people would agree with that. I think they got some new ballers this year. They got some new pitching. They have some their infield is fantastic. I'm excited to see what the team can do this year.
Okay, so they were at Grand Canyon. Did they lose one of those? They lost one of those games, didn't they?
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe one of them.
I think they maybe lost one, but that's all right. It is early, and they're just getting things figured out.
And you got to think too. You're playing teams in Arizona and Texas and Oklahoma, and even not practicing year round. They've been probably outside for at least a month before Nebraska was even practicing, actual game stuff. So
I'm sure
game drills.
Indoors, but
you get a little bit more outdoor time. You get more practice year round. So you got to take that into account too. But anyways, I think baseball's going to be fun. And speaking of baseball, so we have the spring game coming up for football on April 27th. So your 2 average guys and producer Brian will be there. Very excited to go. We're also looking at maybe going to the baseball game afterwards. Okay. I know for sure I'm going to have 2 tickets. So we'll just have to figure out the 3rd ticket. So we'll get going on that. I think that'd be a fun day. Kind of hang out down in Lincoln, get to meet some of our closest friends, the 2 Average Guys followers, Cornhusker Nation followers. So we'll be down there, figure out what we're gonna do. We'll get some more information on that. So
okay, cool.
What else?
About that.
We'll take a quick gander on football here. We got about 18 minutes left for the show. Football, again, not a lot of noise right now. I think they've been doing we got a lot of recruits coming in, a lot of 4-star guys coming to visit here shortly. So that's promising.
It's been a little quiet, but it's kind of that time of year.
It's kind of a dead period, but getting some visitors, some high caliber, at least stars, coming to visit the campus. So, there's a lot to be said about what's happening right now with Nebraska football. I think they're gonna be a team that's gonna. You got to watch out. I mean, we got a couple new wide receivers. We got a quarterback that is a very proven high school quarterback coming in as a 5-star with Raiola. Excited to see what we can do with the new talent that's joined the team and the current talent we had on the team.
And maybe this is a good thing, and maybe it's not. But with the way of the portal these last few years, it seems like every year we have. Especially at like skill positions, we have like a completely different group every year. Not completely different, but it's like all of our wide receivers are new this year, or we got a new quarterback, and then a couple of running backs that played last year that were hurt, and we're really excited about them. But it just seems like every year it's like, all right, what do we got this year? We have a transfer. We had 2 transfer quarterbacks come in 2 years ago. Last year we had a transfer quarterback come in. There's a new quarterback every year, so it's like the excitement's there, but you never really know.
In back-to-back years, our top receivers were transfers: Toure, and then Palmer.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
it just seems like at skill positions, it's always like a new line of guys, and let's see what happens. But it's not necessarily a good thing. But I've grown to like a lot of those guys, so it's hard to say.
I think it's going to be the norm moving forward, though. Like that is the.
And it's probably like that everywhere.
You're going to live and die by the portal as a team, and it's. I think of it kind of like baseball. When you're in the hunt for October, you're in the hunt for the World Series. You say, hey, I'm going to take this guy. We're going to get him in and get him at the end of the year, and he's a free agent at the end of the year. But we're going to trade for him.
Right.
Get him come on, help us win a World Series. And then maybe you're successful, maybe you're not. But then you got to decide at the end of the year, hey, does he stay? Does he go? What do we do? That's what football's going to turn into. Very similar in college, except they have to be there obviously beginning of the year. But it's almost like a loaner. You may have him for a year. If he's a senior, he's already gone, or a grad transfer. So it's recruiting at the right time, bringing in the guys at the right time. You get him as a sophomore, junior. Maybe you get him for 2 years, but create some consistency on offense. It's hard to do that when you get alone.
I don't necessarily want to do it at the quarterback position because,
that's a lot.
Obviously saw what happened. It appeared that Sims was going to be just great, and we all know that he wasn't.
Yes.
But it's just hard to kind of build around that. You bring in a fifth-year senior transfer quarterback, or even just a quarterback that's a senior for 1 year. And then maybe they're great, maybe they aren't, but then you still have to restart over again. So,
and maybe that should be the focus on Raiola and this team, is not just bringing him in. He's going to be a freshman, true freshman. He's going to start. If anyone says anything else, then you're not paying attention. He's going to start. We paid money to have him come here. He's going to be our starter. 2, once that happens and you start seeing some more of these 4-star guys come, and more high caliber 3-star or even 5-star guys coming to campus, they're going to continue to keep coming. And when that happens, you're going to get these younger guys coming in, filling in behind Dylan. And now he's got guys he's going to work with for 3-4 years, and they're not going to leave because you're going to have that winning formula moving forward. And you have a quarterback that you build that connectivity with. That's hard to leave. I can't imagine as a receiver, you have this great relationship and you're connected to this quarterback. You guys are hitting on all these strides, and then all of a sudden you leave. It's like, now you got to get used to that somewhere else.
Right.
That'd be hard.
Unless you're not playing, and then you're not, then it's not a big deal anyway.
Yeah.
Unless Dylan leaves.
Well, and if you're not playing, you probably aren't getting first team snaps.
Yeah, so you're looking to go anywhere. You're looking to go somewhere else anyway.
So again, NIL and the portal is and many coaches have been very vocal about this, and I think it's good that they are, because it tells you what the challenges are. There was another coach that came out, and I don't even remember. It was a new coach that went to a new school. He goes, all these coaches that are bitching and whining about the portal and NIL, just do your job. It hasn't changed. Recruiting hasn't changed. I'm like, dude, you must be new to coaching, because there's no way that's true. Yeah. You're looking at a 3rd-string running back at Michigan State, I think, that said, hey, I want $100,000 or I'm leaving. Dude, you're a 3rd-string running back. You saw like 5 snaps last year, and you want $100,000 for what? I ain't gonna keep you. Adios, muchacho.
I was gonna say, those guys
hit the road.
Those guys, they're only getting like $600 to be in the new video game.
and they get the game.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's cool, but it's not really getting you anywhere. 100,000 for a third stringer, though. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I'll take 100K.
But, there's people that are arguing about the whole EA Sports thing, like, they're not paying them enough money. You can't pay royalties for a game because there's no way you can log that. It's impossible. There's also, you get $600. The original deal was $500. They turned it down. Then they say, hey, $600 and we'll give you the game. And now all these kids are like, all right, we're in. Dude, it's $600 to be in a video game. How would you? Every time you played a video game, you created a player. What's the name on the back of the jersey? It's your last name. Because you want to be in a video game. You want that to be you showing success in the video game. And I don't know why players would balk at that. It's $600 and you get a free copy of the game and you're in it.
Yeah,
and you get your choice between Xbox and PlayStation.
I always thought that
what else could you want?
I always thought that was pretty funny because, they would obviously make the players, at least at the skill position players, similar to the real players.
Attributes and looks. And
you had Eric Crouch on there. And he was fast as hell. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But so I get that. But who wouldn't want to be in a... those guys had to have loved, dude, I'm playing myself right. I'm playing as myself right now.
And who do we got to be mad at about all this? A guy that played basketball at Creighton. You knew that, right?
Yeah, who was it? I can't remember.
I don't remember him either. No one remembers. The only reason why he's memorable is because he's the one who sued. It's like, dude, you were in a video game.
That's wild.
Man. But...
That'd be nice.
Again, but that's NIL. That is, I'm going to pay you because you're in a video game. We're using your name, we're using your image, we're using your likeness, your attributes to put you in a video game. We're going to pay you for that. Okay, great. I'm going to give you a private jet.
Yeah. What is that? Is that is it Ole Miss or Mississippi State?
I stopped paying attention once I saw that. I don't know. I don't care who it is.
I can't remember who it was.
I don't care who it is. It is out of control because it's not about name, image, and likeness. It is not. You're not getting paid. You're not getting deals because of your name, your image, and your likeness. Name, image, and likeness had to do with jersey sales, had to do with camps, had to do with autograph signings. That's what the whole problem was in the first place. Now you got all these companies coming in and saying, we're going to do this for you, we're going to do this for you, we're going to pay you this, pay you that. They say Caleb Williams made $10 million in 2 years. What the hell?
Well, it's so funny because it was so regulated that you couldn't just go sign an autograph for $5. That was wrong.
Johnny Manziel made $200.
They just skipped over that part and went the complete opposite way to where they're giving people private jets.
It's because they're buying Ferraris, they're buying these expensive cars, Rolls Royces. It's gotten to that point, and some people love it. Some people think it's great, but that is not NIL. That is free agency. You have turned it into a pro style football game where you're getting endorsements, you're getting paid to play. You're not getting paid based on your name, image, and likeness. Right. Two very different things. Now, I hate it, but it's not going to go away. No. I think we've talked about it. Is it sustainable? We talked about it on the last show, I think. And I don't know. I don't know if it is. At some point,
it's pretty wild.
And people are like, the colleges aren't paying. Bullshit. The colleges are ponying up dough for this.
Nebraska
it's not just boosters.
I know I could give $20 to 1890 that would get dispersed out. But
it's not just boosters that are doing these things. It's the school. The school is totally involved in this. And if you say any different, then you're probably not paying close enough attention.
Right.
This has been going on for years. People have been paid under the table for years. Teams have been paying. We had the McDonald's bag scandal with Tennessee. Tennessee got in trouble again. Texas A&M issue with Jimbo when he was there. This is before NIL. When he's like, no, we're not using that money for this. Yeah, you are, and you still suck. But
he was getting good players.
Yeah, and they still suck because you're a horrible coach. But it's been going on for years, and everyone's like, "Oh, you didn't have any problem when it was under the table." No, because we didn't care. It's under the table, whatever.
No,
as long as we're winning.
It was probably better that way.
Yeah, and now I feel like some of it, for me, maybe it's a little bit of jealousy.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Holy shit, you're 18, 19, 20 years old, and you're driving a car way better than mine. You have a shit ton more money than I do, and I've been working my entire life. Yeah. And it's I'm almost 40 years old, and you don't even have to go to work a day in your life.
I still think, though,
unbelievable,
that the under the table stuff was almost better because, I mean, yeah, I'm sure there was some like, hey, we'll give you this X number of dollars if you come to my school.
Reggie Bush.
Yeah, because your family needs it.
Your family got a house. Your family has a car.
At the same time, there could be McDonald's bags full of cash for accomplishments. Like, hey, you won this big game. You're the USC quarterback, and you just beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame in a big game. Come into your locker, you got money waiting for you. That's for a win. That's for a performance, not just because you're the quarterback of said school, you get a private jet.
Yeah.
Even though you haven't done anything yet.
Yeah.
Dylan Raiola makes however many millions of dollars and he hasn't even played a snap yet.
It's just wild. Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. And
I'd rather have somebody earn it than just get it because, and I mean, I'm not saying they haven't earned it with how much they've worked to get to where they
work
are,
hard.
But they still haven't played it down yet.
Free books, free room and board, free everything to go to school and get an education. And as much as I'm not a fan of Saban, and people say, oh, Saban, skirted the rules the entire time at Alabama. I mean, yeah, but he was under the table, right? Just like everyone else. But he has a good point. This is not the same college football as it used to be. And I honestly think that's why he retired.
Oh, for sure.
That's why he retired. That's why.
And he might not be bad as an ESPN. I mean, he'll probably be a little SEC biased.
He's boring as hell. He is boring as hell.
But he could be all right. He could be like, nah, I'm not going to say that.
If he's got if he's a dude that's got a personality that just doesn't show very often, like he's got some moments where he'll say stuff. I'm like, dude, that was funny.
So that's what I mean.
He could be.
I hated Tom Brady when he played for the Patriots, and then when he went to the Bucks, I kind of started to like him. So I'm not saying I'm going to like Saban, but I also said I'd never like Brady.
Yeah, but he made a good point in saying that essentially what we've said is these players aren't getting paid for name, image, and likeness. They're just getting money. And now it's not about an education at all. It's about how much money can I make wherever I go to school.
Right.
And if you're going to offer me the right amount of money, I'll go there. Or you have a deal around the corner with a Rolls Royce, I'll go there.
Well, yeah. How much money can you make? How many things can you get?
Yes. Yeah. What's in it for me? That takes away your team mentality. And
that's why
it's all about you.
That's why I kind of like the. Although we can talk about this for a second if you want. That's why I like the pipeline jerky. Like, it's the offensive line as a whole, you know? Did you see the
It's really good jerky.
Did you see the 1890s doing jerky?
Yes.
So they got, I saw
a post and someone was like, you son of a bitch. Like, how could you do this to pipeline? Because pipeline jerky's so good, too.
It's really good. I heard they're both good. I obviously haven't tried 1890, but I just thought that was interesting. Like, they could have done anything.
It's just Bush League.
It kind of is.
It's undercutting a startup that's done really well and is directly connected to the university and the players.
Right.
And you're just going to cut underneath them.
That's why I didn't understand what... Unless that's
sleazy is what it is.
Unless it makes both sides money.
But it shouldn't now.
Okay, well, let's get them both and taste test.
But why would you want to compete with a local company
that's already doing what you're trying to do?
And they've been doing it for over a year.
They're already doing what you're trying to do.
So why would you undercut them? Like, to me, that's sleazy and that's dirty. I don't like it.
I didn't like it at all when I saw it.
And again, I support the guys at Pipeline. For one, their jerky's fantastic. I bought it for Christmas presents.
Same.
Bought it for myself. Bought it for us.
I have a T-shirt.
We did a giveaway, and the guys are fantastic and they're easy to work with. And I thought that was really sleazy by Davison and whoever's in charge.
And it might not have been his.
He's running 1890.
I know, but
it's all him.
I guess he could have shut it down if he wanted to, and he didn't. So,
or at least say, "Hey, Pipeline, we want to pull you into 1890." Like,
right?
Do something.
Like, why wouldn't they have done
that.
something like that?
Like, hey, we're gonna pull you into 1890 as a part of this.
Instead of you doing what you guys are doing and us doing this over here, we could do it together and make it better.
Boom.
I'm a marketing genius.
We all knew that. It just had to come out. We've been pushing you there.
Okay. Maybe someday.
But yeah, anyways, that's a good point. But yeah, so I mean, football's not that far away. I mean, we're in March already. The game's like 7 weeks away. Super pumped about the spring game. Really excited. We'll have more details as we get closer.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll probably be very basic with Dylan, but it'll be cool to see him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, either way, just anytime you get down to Lincoln, get down to a game to the best stadium in the country, going to have a good time with all of our 90,000 friends. Excuse me. All right, basketball. We got a little bit of time to talk about basketball. So, Nebraska basketball's got senior night tonight, PBA against Rutgers.
They got to win tonight, and they got to beat Michigan.
We lost to Rutgers on the road, and we really shouldn't have.
Yeah.
I think that was right after we lost to Iowa on the road, and we shouldn't have.
After we beat Purdue.
After we beat Purdue. So, what's funny about Big Ten basketball is Wisconsin really fell off.
I say Nebraska's in fourth. They got a double bye at this point.
Nebraska.
They got a double bye for the tourney at this point.
Yeah, Nebraska beat Wisconsin. They after that they lost like 5 of 6 or 6 of 7.
And they lost yesterday, so that bumped Nebraska basketball up to fourth.
They lost again yesterday. Dang. So they still got the double bye, even though we lost to Ohio State, who's been playing better with the new coach.
They have been. They beat Purdue with the new coach.
They did,
First
but
game with the new coach.
Man, we let that game go. We would get within 2 points and we couldn't do anything.
I know. Agreed.
And it is interesting, Ross. What's up, buddy?
No, I know. Nobody can.
Look at the way we lost on the road. It's just horrible in the Big Ten.
The free throw differential for Nebraska on the road, it's insane. It was like 25-6 in free throw attempts.
Yeah.
And it's like
unbelievable.
And
who was it? Was it Maryland and Purdue maybe? There was another team that was complaining about the difference in free throws when they played Purdue at Purdue.
It was Maryland because the game went to overtime or almost went to overtime, and the coach got ejected.
Wasn't it like 30 something to like 6?
Yeah,
it was outrageous.
The coach got ejected because there was a foul called in overtime or whatever it was, and it looked like at that point the game was over, and he just went right as the foul was called. And I didn't really know because I hadn't watched the whole game. Brutal. Every now and again, I'll turn a game on. Usually, I turn Big Ten games on at night on the second TV, but it's on mute. So I'm just like, okay, it's a 5-point game, and then I'm like, 10-point game, and now it's a 2-point game. So I didn't know anything about that, and then I turned the volume on after the game was over, and they were like, "Oh man," and they were talking about it, and I was like, it seems like the road teams are like almost have an impossible chance to win.
That's not just the Big Ten. Creighton played at St. John's. Did you watch any of that game? Man,
no, I just saw.
One thing I'm gonna say.
I just saw some posts on Twitter about it.
Pitino. The fact that he's a college basketball coach still is amazing.
It is
ridiculous.
Pretty wild.
Because he really should not be coaching anymore. 2, he was on the court the entire game. And they're like, oh, Pitino shines in his white suit at the game. I'm like, the guy looked ridiculous. He looked ridiculous. And he's on the court the entire game, and they didn't call anything. And that's not the first time. When they played Shaka Smart, who's Marquette. When they played, was it Marquette? Shaka coaches? So when they played Marquette at Marquette, he was on the court the entire time, and Shireman actually ran into him. And he didn't have the ball.
Oh, that's right.
And they didn't call anything. But he was on the court the entire time. He was in the way of a pass.
He's a terrible person.
But they don't call anything. So, so again, it's not just the Big Ten. This is, and again, I don't get fired up about basketball. I've watched like
I don't either.
two whole games this year, and I've watched some here and there. But I've seen some of the worst officiating. St. John's was absolutely hammering Creighton every time they came down. The moving screens, the center that would come out to set the picks, he would throw his hip out and hip check the guys who came by for Creighton. They never called it. And it's not like he moved a little bit. He literally like threw his hip out like he was just salsa dancing. It was ridiculous. And I'm watching the game. I'm getting pissed. I'm like, I don't care about Creighton.
I don't care.
I really don't care. I don't care about basketball in general, but Creighton specifically, I just could care less. But they never call anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are you? Like, that is why I can't stay in basketball. Because then a person will go for a shot, for a three-pointer, you tap the wrist after the ball's out, and they call foul.
I know.
I'm like, wait, they just got body checked. You're not going to call that, but then you tap them and they go. It's like, come on.
I know.
Just, can't stand it.
It was kind of funny. I know we're getting down to it, but did you see the UConn coach cussing at the Creighton fans?
Oh yeah, after we beat UConn. Yeah, because someone gave him shit. He was like,
"Get the F out," or something.
Didn't someone yell at him like, "Do better"?
I don't know. I guess some of the comments I read is that I don't know. That's just kind of what the Creighton student section does, and like they used to do it to Jay Wright when Villanova was number 1 or number 2 in the country, and he would just like give him a wave or give him like a yeah, you guys got me. Like, whatever. And Dan Hurley went the opposite way.
Dude, he was so mad. He said, "Wait." He's told Mike to fight. Like, bring it. Like, he was like, "Come on." As a coach, as a player, like, for one, you're a coach. You're a freaking adult man. Like, take it on the shoulder. You're pissed.
You won a national championship last year.
You're pissed.
Your team's
lost.
number one. You lost on the road.
Just get off the court.
They stormed the court. Whatever.
It is what it is. So yeah, it's Nebraska basketball tonight. They got to win tonight. They got to beat Michigan. Michigan is
terrible.
Just garbage, absolute garbage. Yeah. How do they still have what's his bucket coach Juan Howard?
He might not even be there by the time.
I'm surprised he's still there.
That could be his last game.
Why are they not firing him?
I don't know.
Like, he's horrible.
He is.
Didn't they get beat like triple point, like 3 times they scored the other night? They got absolutely destroyed. I don't even know if they put up 50 points in the game.
Yeah.
I think they're
I'm not entirely sure, but
he shouldn't have been a coach this year. He was a bad coach last year.
Nebraska should win tonight and Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Thursday?
So 5:30 game tonight, senior night at PBA. I'll probably be throwing some stuff out there on social media. I'll be watching the game with my father-in-law. So look for that. But hopefully get the win tonight. Women's basketball, they're kind of a shot in the dark. They're kind of 50-50. They have a lot of good players. That Markowski's really good. Obviously, we got Jazz Shelley, very good. They have some good players on their team. I watched a little bit of their games. Again, I struggle with women's basketball in general, but
I struggle with basketball in general. Women's is
tough. Except Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark.
She did beat the record at home on senior day.
She just passed Pistol Pete.
Yeah.
So
cool.
It is what it is. She's going to the WNBA next year.
No, she's good.
Yeah. Yeah, although that shot that she had to break the first record, that was from people like, it's from almost half court. I'm like, and it looked like a horrible shot. She just like threw it up.
Yeah, it seemed like
the
showboating a little bit. Like, I want to just go make a layup and get it over with.
Go make a layup.
Yeah.
Don't make it fun and exciting for the fans in Iowa. Go ahead and make a friggin' layup.
That's what Iowa would do.
Get your free throws in.
They would
get your free throws in.
Get their punter to kick one inside the one and break a record.
I do have to say something real quick. Yeah, I know that is how she shoots, Ross. It drives me nuts. It looks horrible. Horrible form. Bad form, Jack. You got it, Brad.
Yeah,
little hook. Speaking of Iowa, apparently,
Brian Ferentz. I don't know what it's about.
So if a lot of people are like, hell no. Here's the thing. If it's for a tight end coach position, like a lot of people have been saying, a lot of people are like, that's all right. Keep with the tight ends only, though. Don't touch anything else.
The only thing is I think
we don't have any coaching spots open.
I think that Satterfield is moving to not working with quarterbacks, but working with tight ends. So he's offensive coordinator, tight ends coach.
Yeah.
And then
Ferentz could be an analyst if we have analyst jobs open. I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny, though, because obviously he's in Lincoln. Everyone's like, oh, my God.
Why?
Why
Get him out of here.
Yeah. So it's pretty funny. But how funny would it be if he comes and coaches at Nebraska, or he's an analyst for Nebraska, and we go and kick the crap out of Iowa this next year, and Kirk just, he probably have a heart attack on the sidelines. I don't know.
I thought maybe Kirk would be done after letting him go, but evidently not.
He's got to be in his last. Doesn't he have like 4 or 5 years left on his contract, though?
I don't know.
I
don't pay attention to
He'll retire. Yeah, he'll retire probably this next year, after we go and beat him in Iowa City. Anyways, so we are a little bit over our time, dude.
Yeah, that's all right.
A little bit of a late start, but I mean, really not a whole lot to talk about this time. Just really want to come back. A couple things coming up. So we talked with TJ over at Backswing. We're looking to do a March Madness bracket. So 2 average guys, backswing combo. With our brackets. We'll probably do it online, so we'll have some more information coming up soon. We'll throw the brackets out there. We're going to meet with Backswing and talk about a little bit of how we want to do it. And then we'll probably do a live show on that Sunday, that first weekend of basketball as well, to get out there. We'll watch some basketball, throw back some brews, enjoy a good day of basketball, because the first weekend's by far the best. Well, best weekend because there's just a ton of basketball nonstop, and you don't know what to watch, but should be fun. We'll get some more details out there as soon as we have some more details.
Yeah, I mean, those first, obviously, Thursday and Friday are the first 2 days of games.
Yep.
They're going to be wild. It's a busy time for me, so I'll be able to go during the day to watch those games. It'd be fun to go to Backswing and just watch basketball for 2 days. But
anywhere you can go to watch basketball for just 2 days, even if you don't like basketball, is
I know,
better than being at work.
but it is fun. So
that's why it's nice to have double monitors at your desk when you work. So
I'll be driving, so we'll see.
Hopefully, no one at my job is watching. Just kidding. But anyways, it's a good time of year. I love March Madness. I love doing the brackets. I always lose. So that should give you some motivation to enter, because if you enter, you're probably going to beat me. So probably beat Jimmy too. In fact, I think I usually beat Jimmy just by a little bit. So
those are lies. You sit on a throne of lies.
I do, but it should be fun. So look out for more information. UNO hockey next weekend. Basketball this week. We got 2 games, including tonight. Then a couple days from now, Tuesday, Wednesday. Baseball's right around the corner. March Madness is right around the corner. Got a lot of fun things coming up. Spring game. So stay tuned. We'll be back here real soon. Probably again in a couple weeks. Be back at Backswing.
Yeah.
We'll get some more details about March Madness. Go Big Red. Go Mavericks. I'm Matt.
I'm Jimmy.
We're 2 average guys. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
We'll see you next time.